You're listening to
The Audacity.
Welcome back to The Audacity. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here.
We're so glad you're here. And can I just begin this episode? Well, first of all, I'm Amanda Gill.
I'm Karen Margolis.
Okay, that was so brat and so sloppy. Sorry.
We're living in a really transcendent cultural moment.
We are.
This summer.
Everything is everything and nothing is nothing.
And everything is nothing and nothing is everything.
That's it. And
everything is nonsense. I'm going to say this, and this isn't, doesn't mean anything, but every election year, everything turns into nonsense.
I think everything gets into chaos.
The planet's misaligned.
That's right.
Because we have to vote in November.
And it's like like when there's thunder and there's like a dog barking and like another dog starts barking. Yeah. I feel like we're all just like dogs when there's thundering out,
I need that kind of weighted shirt that zips up really tight so I feel like it's a hug.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm shivering with fear.
It's just a permanent full moon. Mercury's like always in retrograde when there's an election season.
The planet doesn't even turn past the retrograde anymore.
Right.
It's just whatever the alignment is, it's always wrong.
Exactly. I think that's such a good point because it's like everyone's like throwing ideas in your face. During an election year, it's like, this is wrong, that's wrong. It's like, well, I haven't thought about that in like 4 years. Like, I don't know anything about any of this stuff.
This hasn't meant anything to me in 4 years.
Yeah, but now everything means everything to me. Now I care about taxes.
I know, but it's like everything is so important now that nothing is.
Right, exactly. How could
then forget it. Forget about it.
That's if everything's important, then nothing's important.
Okay, nothing's important. You know what it is? Because certain things are important to certain people, and they're making it our problem.
Exactly.
Why is your presidency my problem?
Literally, I'm sorry. Right, exactly.
Back off.
Back off. I'm sorry that you had this gaffe.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Right. And just like, da, 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 I'm not listening, la, 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 whatever, and then I'll vote.
Right.
Right?
I think
based on aesthetics.
I think we should have different this is not getting political. Actually, this is not a political statement.
No, it literally is never.
I was thinking about this on the car ride here. I was thinking, I think we should have presidents for different. I understand like there's a president and like different like secretary of this, secretary of that, but I really think we should have presidents of different things because for foreign policy, I like a certain party. I'm not going to say, and for domestic affairs, I like a certain party.
Right.
So what if we had like a president for the domestic, like a Republican president for the foreign affairs, and the domestic president would be Democrat?
That's genius.
Like I don't know, am I wrong? Like have two different
No.
two presidents.
No, you're right. We should have multiple presidents.
I'm getting so Gen Z. I'm like, everybody should win. Nobody loses.
Right. Nobody loses. And here's how it works. You give everybody everything so that no one has anything.
Right. So Trump will be in charge of foreign affairs and Kamala will be in charge of domestic affairs.
Right. So they'll both be awful.
They'll both be awful. So we'll both like hate
They can ruin everything in a balanced way.
But we all win. Like everyone wins.
Because we lose.
That's right.
Because
exactly.
it's a loss.
Right. Nobody loses.
It's a devastating loss.
Maybe that's how we should do. Maybe we should just like have them both be president. Of different things
and battle it out to the death.
But I don't think this is like so crazy. Maybe I'm getting like really brat right now, but I think Kamala and Trump should be president.
Yeah, they should pinky swear to always work together.
What if you like chose your president? Like it's like we have two. Yeah. Okay. I don't mean like vote. I mean like every day. Like you're like Trump and Kamala are president, and you get to choose who you're going to listen to. It's like mom and dad.
Oh, and then they fight. Oh, and then who gets to keep America in the divorce?
I don't know.
So, see, we're making problems. Oh, no. They can work it out in the remix.
Yes, that is Trump and Kamala should work it out in the remix.
Done. So should Palestine. A remix would solve this.
Literally, and Palestine's like,
are they not even thinking?
And Trump's like, oh, I like thought that you like hated me. It's Kamala's like, no, I don't hate you, Trump. I just like kind of
feel fat.
I just feel fat, and like I don't like that you're like making fun of my heritage all the time. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, like girl, you don't understand. Like when I was 10, like my dad like didn't give me like what I wanted for Christmas, and she's like, oh, I get it. Okay,
it's done.
Yeah, like that wasn't very funny, but maybe like you choose like who you want your president to be, but you're both. There's two presidents. Like,
That's the most retrograde thing I've ever heard you say.
Andrew, what do you think?
What if the world descended into pure chaos?
Like everybody,
every day,
no one loses. Like everybody gets to be president. Who wants to be? What do you think, Andrew?
Yes, we're all president.
We're all the president.
I think
that solves it
Participation
because
president.
because if participation president is the name of this episode. If no one's the president and everyone's the president, then no one wins or loses.
Everything is everything and nothing is
And
nothing.
everything becomes nothing.
I think because like every election season, I hear what the Republicans say and I hear what the Democrats say, and I agree with both of them of different things. So I think the Republicans should be the president for what I want them to be. I think they're right about.
That's really unchristian though, because in the Bible you have to make sacrifices. The Bible's all about sacrifice.
But we have a distinction between a church and state in America. So get your
But the Bible's also real life. And the Bible also tells us about
What the hell are you talking?
No, the Bible you
We have a separation of church and state in the U.S.
but and on paper.
But that's a thing because people give money to candidates.
No, I know, but I'm saying that we can have a separation of church and state, but I'm saying we're a Christian nation that lives along Christian lines. Like that's what we are.
We're not officially,
But we are. So it's about sacrifice. So you pick someone knowing that they suck. You go, I know you're awful.
But this is for the country. Like you mean like Solomon? You mean like King Solomon with the babies?
Right. Well, because if we pick both candidates, that's like cutting the baby in half.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to pick a baby. Pick a baby.
But we're not a Christian nation.
We are.
I pride ourselves in not being an ethno state.
We're not. We're not an ethno state, but we have to make biblical decisions in this country. I'm if you're listening or watching, I'm sure you get it. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Right.
Okay.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Fox News.
Yeah.
Hire her for Gutfield. She wants to get on.
Yeah.
This is in regards to a clip that went super viral on TikTok.
Stupid viral. If you are alive, I mean, how did you even get away from it? Tell me.
I know, literally.
Leave it in the comments.
It's actually, I'm going to say this before we start. This is my favorite trend on TikTok. But let's play the clip so people know what we're doing.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls go to the interview looking like Marge Simpson and go to the job looking like Patty and Selma. Not demure. I'm very modest. I'm very mindful. You see my shirt? Only a little chichi out, not my chocho. Be mindful of why they hired you. Here's your reality check, diva. What's the name you'd like me to make it out to?
This is the first time I ever heard it in its full length.
I love it.
I love it too, but I'm gonna say this. I loved it the first 85 times I heard it, and it's been like 3 days of this even being a thing, and it's been done to death. That the internet is the best and it's the most annoying because in 2 seconds it will just squeeze all the juice out of any trend. Leave it dry.
I know. And then you're like, oh, it's done. Like we talked about Hawk Tour like 2 weeks ago. Now it's like, who even? She was
done
everywhere, and it's like, okay, thanks, Hawk Tour.
I know.
Enjoy your pickup truck.
No, enjoy your. What was it like? She put like wall posters. It doesn't matter. I hope she opened a savings account.
Oh, I think she did. I think
hope she
was
invested.
No, I think she did, and she doesn't seem like she's a big spender. There was this clip of her going to New York City, and they took her to Chanel, and she's like, I don't do Chanel shit. She went to American Eagle. I think
good
that
for
is her.
her.
I don't think she's like a big like gonna blow it on coke and cars and stuff.
I think
She's
the
not
whole
a
thing was
guy.
uncomfortable for her, to be honest.
Yeah, I think she's like, this is fun, but then she's also like, because she's not sexual. Because when she was on Whitney Cummings, Whitney said, you're squirting. She goes, don't say that. She's like overt.
She's a nice girl. She's a nice Southern
She just
girl.
likes to say a wink, wink, and a nudge, nudge thing, you know?
Yeah. I think because she's not in this like space of insanity like we are doing stand up, you know, where if that happened, we'd be like, you know, it would be like the best. I think for her, it's like was so crazy and an inconvenience.
It was, but she also looked like she was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. But that's a story she's going to tell her grandchildren.
Oh,
and
I
then
know.
That's it. She can't stay in the public eye and like find a nice man.
Right.
She can't because she's going to have to up the ante.
Yeah.
And instead of like, she already came in pretty hot. That was
an insane story. What happened was like, what? That'll go down in history as the most insane fame story, you know?
Totally. And it's the opposite of Demure.
Literally.
It was literally, and this person blew up. Jules LeBron or whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently this individual has been making content for like a decade.
Yeah.
And then this did it. And the internet, I mean, when we did Hawk to a Girl, I didn't know who that was. And then once I did know, I saw it everywhere.
Right.
This found me where I live. Like this found me in my home, in my bed, and like burrowed into my head. And it became a moment. Like Gen Z has this habit of like taking words that exist and acting like that word was just made up.
It's a new word no one's ever heard before.
Well, because I kept hearing people say like Gen Z, you know, this is not, they took Demure and they like repurposed it. And it's like, no, that is what Demure means.
Right.
They just had never heard the word before. You know, because they're children.
You know what people say that about the same aesthetics. I heard someone go, that's like a very Gen Z word, aesthetic. They're using it in the correct context, but they use it, the word aesthetic, Gen Z kind of brought it. I guess repurpose isn't the right word. You're right. It's more like they start using it again.
They make existing words trends.
Right. They're really into words. Like they love
a hashtag.
And
nothing can get done in today without hashtagging it. Everything has to be, because that's what makes things go viral. And you can't have a moment if people aren't hashtagging you and making it viral.
Right. I would say SEO. I don't know if hashtags really, from what I read, it's like hashtags don't work anymore.
But they work on, but there's a difference between SEO on like Google and search engines and hashtags that make things findable on social media.
Right.
Because that's how, like if you're on TikTok and you go through the hashtags, that's how you find everything.
Well, TikTok has an amazing search engine though, where you don't.
It's crazy.
You can type a whole freaking sentence and like by their AI or whatever they use.
It's genius.
Yeah, it's a really insane search engine, and I think it's great.
You can ask it for like restaurant recommendations.
Oh, I know.
In a really like niche.
I know.
Neighborhood, and it'll find it.
And then I'll take you to where there's a gun. So when I went to New Orleans, I typed in like places to go in New Orleans, and they're like, this is places you go that tourists don't go, and they said Magazine Street, and there was like, I went there, it was like a shooting, it was closed for a shooting.
Oh my God.
So like, yeah, that is a very local thing, you know. So to their point, they're right, but also like,
what the hell?
The street was legit closed off for a shooting, and so you know they didn't.
That's so authentic.
Well, that's their point is it was like 5 places to go in New Orleans don't make you like a tourist, and they're like Magazine Street, and then I get there and it was like 5 cop cars. It was like a shootout, like a gang shootout, like
and
in the
only
middle of the day.
to be fair, only the cool locals know about that.
Literally, so she wasn't wrong. The lovely TikToker that did that, but
that sent you to your death.
Literally. But I know you say it's maybe I like. I don't know. I love Demure. I love her. I love her whole like, you be nice, you be cutesy. Don't do it like other girls.
I love when she goes, I don't show up with a green cut crease. I don't show up with a green cut crease.
What does that
anywhere.
mean? What is
a cut crease is when you do your eyeshadow really intense and you like you do it and then you take a concealer or you like, you know, like a white pigment and then you put it over the eyeshadow that you already did, and then on top of that you put a really bright color, and the fact that you put like a light colored base down first makes it super vivid. And the cut crease means that it's not like blended. That's the whole point. It's like cut.
Oh, so it's like a very that's a crease.
It's very intense. Yeah. It's almost like drag makeup.
Right. Gotcha.
It's makeup.
It's makeup. And she's like, no, you be nice. I love it. Be mindful. I love that because it is true. Like Jordan Peterson had this really cool quote that he talks about like getting dressed up, and he talks about getting dressed up is not for you. It's actually for other people. Mm-hmm. You're respecting other people. So when she says be mindful, she's right. Like when you wear things that are too sexy, I understand like, you know, whatever, women can wear whatever they want, but it's like when you're too sexy, you are, even a man wearing something too sexy, it's distracting.
It is.
It's like, dude, like be mindful of where we are. Don't wear something that we're all like trying to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, totally. But I just love how Gen Z acts like they invented being appropriate.
Yeah.
That's what she's like she's like, be demure, you know, it's mindful. It's very demure. This is how you show up to the interview, is how you show up to the job. Yeah, like we've known that for decades.
You've known that for decades. I think Gen Z
because they're discovering being an adult.
That's right, and they're also been on the internet. They don't make like eye contact. They don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's Demure. Okay, so then somebody else is going viral because she is like, this is going to be anti-Demure, and could we play the anti-Demure video because that also went viral because this is so viral.
Girl, that is going viral is ugly as fuck.
The creator that popularized Demure, Jules LeBron, is receiving a lot of hate specifically about her appearance, and she responded to it in the funniest way. It started when this creator made this video.
Is ugly as fuck. The facial features is disrupting the atmosphere in the cosmos.
I mean,
the teeth
so
look like they were
stupid.
donated from How to Train a Dragon. Out of categories. But pretty ain't one of them. Evil. I'm the villain.
And I think a lot of people came to Jules' defense. The video blew up, and then she responded to it.
The only reason someone would ever make fun of my looks or my teeth on the internet is because they know that the bag I'm about to get from all the success that I've had is about to change it. Now she's making fun of someone who won't be here in a few weeks.
And then a little bit later, this creator posted this. And then a day later, posted a video saying that someone called CPS on her, making false allegations about parenting, and that they allegedly took her kids. So, like, if you put out negative energy, I feel like somehow it just comes back to you. What we should be focusing on is the fact that she is now able to finance the rest of her transition due to her viral videos and Demure being such a big thing. Also learned that she's been a creator for 11 years. This is just someone who deserves a platform. I cannot wait to see more, and I am rooting for Jules LeBron.
Somebody tell me how you have one viral video and then you monetize it enough to buy all the plastic surgery in the world. Tell me how that works.
She might have she got a lot of brand deals out of it.
Comment and tell me.
No, but I think it's the brand deals.
Well,
Patrick Ta.
Am I the stupidest person in the world?
Patrick Ta, she's working with Patrick Ta right now.
She is?
Yes, she is. She got a lot of brand deals out of this. She probably, I don't know if there's like copyright. First of all, you get I don't think you get paid that much on TikTok for views. You used to get paid a lot on TikTok, not anymore. But she's getting a lot of brand deals out of it.
Right.
NARS, I saw. She did something with NARS. Yeah, I mean the Kamala Harris campaign.
No.
They did something.
They are so they're so grabby.
Some Gen Z twink is running that. That's what everyone says.
Some Gen Z twink is running it. You know how I also know that? Because I was watching something and they were saying that I watched the right and the left. I watched them both because I want to see what people are saying. And somebody was saying that if you go to the Kamala campaign website and you click on the job application section, you go to apply for a job, they have every pronoun. Like, it's like not just he, him, and she, her, and they, them. They also have like zimzer and he, her, hers, and like fay, fair, furs.
That is her brand.
I know, but it's a Gen Z twink. That's what it is.
Right.
If you could put a thumbprint on something and people just know that it's Gen Z twink, that's it.
And I will say this, whether you like her or not, the way she's marketing, whoever's running her campaign's doing a great job.
It's a marketing genius.
Yes, I'm not saying her policies, we don't care. Okay, we don't care.
Or just looking at aesthetics.
Aesthetically, her marketing team is doing a great job.
To get a certain demographic, this is the trouble with being so on point with marketing, is that you really capture an entire demographic and totally alienate anyone who's over 35. We're like, what? What is that?
She's mobilizing people to go to the poll. I mean, whatever. We'll see.
We'll see.
When November
drama.
It's
the ultimate drama. I can't wait to see how episode 46 of the United States plays out.
Literally, we're in like our last season. But
I know, and it's so funny. All this stuff is so crazy. Whatever. I think it's interesting that Gen Z is picking up on like demure, mindful, cutesy, like calibrated, because everything is so unhinged that I feel like now that it's an election year and everything's so crazy and like everything's crazy abroad and everything's crazy at home, that they're like, we want everything to be toned down. Like that's what resonates with us now, is toning it down.
Right. So it started out, so this is confusing. Girls so confusing. This started out as a brat summer and ended with us having to be demure. So I don't know. This is what's so confusing about being a girl. Full circle.
I know.
Should I be a brat or should I be demure? Can you be a brat demure? What do you think?
That's what's so fucked about being a girl, is we have to be both. And we have to work it out in the remix. We can't just be normal.
I know, it's so hard.
It's so hard being a girl.
It is weird. Like, who decides that, like, okay, the word of the summer is modesty, and we all think that's cool. Like, this is a trick. They've tricked everyone to be like, okay, this is what we're saying now. We're all being good boys and girls.
You know who tricked us though? The algorithm. There's someone in deep underground in another continent, right, who hasn't seen sunlight in 7 years, who's just been programming this app, okay? And if they don't do it, they're just going to get electrically shocked. and who pressed a button on that video and blew it up. And they decide
Pushed
what our
it.
culture is going to be.
Yeah. Very demure, very mindful. I actually think Jules was doing well before this because I feel like I've seen her. I think she's the one that does like if you're wearing this highlighter, then she had. I think it's the same. There's some.
Is it the one that's like, if you like this, you're elderly. If you like this,
I think so. By the way, this aesthetic of like half face is so popular. I've seen multiple videos with this kind of aesthetic on.
you need to have half your face, no makeup, and a 5 o'clock shadow. And then other videos, you have to be full glam.
See, it's like the dichotomy.
High, low. Keep them on their toes.
But I have seen other creators do it this way, and they have like millions of likes. It's like the new gen
because it comes off as authentic.
and it's
And
underproduced.
if your lighting is really good, people are like, what a bitch.
yeah, or like loser. You're trying
Loser.
to.
Why do you look good?
Am I gonna? Okay, all her shit's demure. Damn,
She went in. That's a pro.
Size girl, like that people often. You see me? I keep it real classy,
See,
real
she
demure.
got a lot of.
Oh,
she
you
got
know
a
what?
lot
She's
of.
smart. She really leaned into it and made a ton of content. That's because everything's gonna pop off.
Actually, she is milking it because she's done. I saw she did I know she did Patrick Ta, which was like the big thing, and I saw she did NARS. So like a lot of makeup companies are like, see how we do our foundation?
Oh, genius.
Very demure.
So funny.
Yeah.
How the trend cycle, like, it's so fast.
That's
and
what
hard.
brands have to do now.
But it goes so hard. It's
I
not
know.
even like, oh, everybody just watch your video. It's like, oh, now it's a business. And that happened it was a matter of minutes.
I know. Yeah. And then
wild?
It's crazy. I'll have to look if she's the same girl. We'll check it on the break. We can't. We do it on the remix. We have so much to talk about. But I want to say this video before we move on to the next subject. I don't understand what the purpose is of that. Like calling her ugly. Like I don't see what adds to the conversation. Like I don't. Like she's not trying to be.
No, and you also have to know the app that you're on, because if you start saying that kind of stuff on TikTok, like you're going to get,
Especially that kind of person.
you're
You're gonna lose your kids.
you're gonna lose.
That's
your kids.
literally what happened.
TikTok doesn't like that.
They don't.
TikTok likes to uplift in their weird, toxic way. Okay. And I'm not saying that Jules doesn't deserve to be uplifted. I think,
Great
success
job.
is deserved. Yeah, great job. But TikTok doesn't like, I think that they feel so inundated by everything that if you are actually, everything is kind of negative because there's like pressure. And if you are just overtly negative, then they're going to take up all their pent up rage on you.
They're anti-bully bullies.
They're anti-bully bullies.
That's what they are.
genius.
They don't like a bully. And if you come off as really like if you actually like a blonde, pretty, I'm sorry, conventionally attractive person,
Right.
They're like, get your shit fuck. Unless you're gonna come up here and tell us about your depression, we want nothing to do with you.
If Alex Earl, who's absolute
Stunning.
slam dunk
Stunning.
smoke show,
Conventionally beautiful,
young, gorgeous, every privilege. If she came on and showed us an apartment tour and it was perfect, people would be livid.
get the fuck out of here.
Get off this app.
Yeah,
But
it's not
she's
for
like,
you.
I'm disgusting, and she is. According to her TikToks, I don't know her. Okay, maybe she's like the cleanest person in the world, but she does sleep with lo mein. So that's not, you know what I mean? But it's like people go, oh my God, she's just like me. She's not just like
She's
you
not
at
like
all.
no, but that's her. That is who does well on TikTok. If you're gonna be good looking, remember we talked about that girl a few episodes about the fake scar. She was really pretty, and she put a scar on.
But it was just like eyeliner.
But I get why she did that, because if she's gonna, you can't be a conventionally beautiful person on TikTok you got to have something. The
Fuck off
depression,
this app.
depression. You got to be a little bit of a loser like the rest of us, and people who look like Jules. And I think whatever. I think she's put together and attractive. Like what? I don't think she's trying to be something she's not. That's what.
Right.
That's why that video is so weird, because she's not trying to be the hot girl on TikTok. She just puts a pretty wig on and.
She's a genius marketer, because she's being what people want you to be, which is really put together 1 second and really, really not.
Right. And
like my millennial ass does not want to take a picture of myself from down here showing my full mustache. Like I don't want that on the internet.
No, it's got to be pretty imperfect.
I know, but people like they want to see that.
That's the TikTok cult. That's why we are seeing the end of Kardashians.
It hurts
because the flex culture is done. The glow up culture is done. We don't like put together. We like a depressed bitch.
We like a depressed, insecure bitch. Like I saw this girl who's so beautiful. She's young, she's really cute, and she's on TikTok, and she was like, oh my God, like she was in a supermarket and she was like, oh my God, this guy's so hot. Like, do you think he would even like me? of course,
Of
you're
course.
stunning.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she was like, oh my God, I'm like so scared. And then she walks past him. She's like, oh my God, he looked at me. He looked at me. So she's like, I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm just going to do it. So she walks up to him and she's like, gives him her number. And then she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like so humiliated. And then she leaves and they're like dating seriously.
She got a husband. Oh my God.
know,
Who would like a slob like me?
No, but you have to play it like that. Like, who could ever love me?
You have to. You can't go in there and be like, because she knew what she had. And oh my God, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was. Oh, fuck. Jesus. It was really, really, really funny and great and really going to change the course of history on this. It was going to be really mind blowing. It was my one. Okay, we'll move on because we have to go to one more. But the one Alex Earl story that I just love because I told you the story where she bought a ticket to Dubai and she ended up accidentally buying for that day. And she meant to buy it for like a month later. And so all of a sudden she got this email, hey, Alex, we're ready to board. Like, ready to check in. She's like, oh shit, I bought it for today. And I
So what happened? She went?
I don't think the money met, but it was such a funny story of like, she bought a ticket to go to Dubai, wherever she was going. And she accidentally bought it for like that day.
Right.
And she didn't buy it for a month in advance like she wanted to.
Oops, it just happened. You know when you accidentally buy a ticket to Dubai for this afternoon?
And she's like, all of a sudden I got an email. Hi, Alex Earl. We're ready to check in.
Okay.
Your boarding time is in 2 hours. She's like, oh shit, I bought it for today. Like,
yeah. Silly,
very relatable.
Silly Alex. I know. She's just like us.
Literally. Okay.
All right. Well, we're done though.
We're done. Okay. That was
That flew. Okay. If you're listening, if you're watching, we want to know how much you enjoyed this episode because we loved it.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time.
I understand like the demurity and I understand like I have to be mindful because at the end of the day, like she is correct. Be mindful of who you are. Don't be fucking like wearing a short skirt and high heel and fuck me heels at work.
No, totally. Like be mindful and be calibrated. And I know Gen Z grew up at the bottom of a well.
and the internet just
only on TikTok and doesn't know anything about the world. And then they came out after the pandemic and they were like, what is happening?
And I think our depiction of them is so accurate. I think there's no nuance with that generation. I think it is that black and white.
Yeah, but here's my point. Forget all that. Here's my point. My point is to say that I love when they discover new words that existed because I can see them growing up in front of our eyes when they're like, oh, don't wear green eyeshadow to work. It doesn't work. Like how you interviewed is how you should. Like I love watching it click into place for them.
Yeah.
When they go, oh, put your tits away.
Yeah.
When you show up to a job, I'm going to call it Demure.
Wow.
And everybody's like, oh my God.
Marketing. Yeah, really. You're like Webster, Merriam-Webster.
Really? Your mom
Shakespeare.
should have told you that in, 2011.
Well, the mom doesn't talk to them because they're on their phones.
Yeah.
They're getting raised by the internet.
Right. And because they're in the corner of a basement. I love this generation so much. But if they just like texted me, I would just tell them everything they needed to know.
Literally. But I think it's okay. I know we're trying to end this episode, but I will say this. I love the message of the Demure. I really do love the message of like, let's be like appropriate. Let's put together. Like I know you can be whatever you want, but like, let's be respectful of like where we are. You're in front of the Queen of England. Don't wear ripped jeans in front of the Queen of England. You know what I'm saying?
I think they need a hashtag like to hashtag how to do your taxes. Like,
right? Like literally.
You know what I mean? Like this is how to sign a lease. Like we're just going to get all of this grown up, growing in front of us.
Taxes is the next big word.
Taxes. All right.
That's it.
We had the best time.
We had so much fun.
Reach out to us because we love to hear from you and tell us where in the world you are and
what demure means to you. Do you feel like are you having a demure summer or a brat summer? And I feel like that should be your question by Labor Day weekend. Ask yourself
and
that.
you have to pick one. Like you can't be like nothing. I'm an adult.
No, you have to pick a president. We all have to pick one president. They don't both win.
Right.
That's not how the election works.
Unfortunately.
I would love a president for foreign affairs and domestic affairs, but that's not.
We learned today that's not how it works.
But our forefathers had a different agenda. They were also slave owners. So
what are you gonna do?
So I'm not really listening to them. But yeah, pick a lane, stay in it, and then come back next week for the next episode, which you're gonna love. You're gonna love it. It's demure brat summer, and that is the era.
And
we're
it
in.
makes sense. Is what's the most important.
It's everything and everything. It's demure and it's brat.
It's nothing and it's everything all at once.
It's everything. So
Okay.
thank
We
you
love
guys.
you.